Hey everybody, welcome back. It is another World of Warships Wednesday. Today, the plan here was to bring you guys my final two missions that it took me in the U.S.S. New York to finish my U.S.S. New Mexico. And don't worry, there's nothing wrong with your audio right now. I recorded both of these with the DVR and Shadowplay, and for whatever reason, the first one did not record any audio through Shadowplay. So rather than make you guys suffer through the whole gameplay of just me talking with no game audio, I've condensed this one down into just the highlights of me getting the kills I got and shooting down some planes and the end of the battle. So the first thing is that I just wanted to cover real quick is I should have done this a long time ago with the New York, but you can really extend the range out on it if you use all the upgrades that you can get. Like right here, you can see that the guns are all the way out to 17 nautical miles, or 17 kilometers rather, which is a big improvement over the default, which is like 14 or 11 or whatever. I forget. It's been a while. But that's just something I didn't notice it until well after I had all of the modules researched out on the ship. So at any rate, it doesn't quite bring you into the same range as the early Japanese battleships that can fire like 20 kilometers away without their spotter planes, but it does bring it a long way towards being some kind of parity. So I basically left it up to that point just so you could see those shells track in and actually hit the target. So coming up here will be where I scored my first kill. And it's on this Miyogi. So he's got a little bit of damage already. He's obviously well within range, and you can get some pretty good hits on somebody from less than 6 kilometers away with the New York's 14-inch guns. So it didn't score any massive hits in these first couple salvos, but eventually you'll see some really good full broadsides. And it's nice that he wasn't exactly aiming at me either. He turns his attention to me after I hit him a couple times, but initially he wasn't actually shooting at me. So on fire and taking some more hits from him here, but you can see he's also taking hits from somebody else who's not me, probably the other battleship that's right off my nose. But in a moment I'll score a really, really good devastating hit on him that'll finish him off with a full broadside here. Nice Citadel hit, and that wiped him out. I'm sure that the Wyoming right there, right next to me, was helping. And then I scored a bonus aircraft kill too, which never hurts. Once you get the upgraded B hull for the New York, you really get a relatively reasonable anti-aircraft protection. It really seemed to make a difference. Started really knocking planes out. I think I got 6 or 7 the first time I had that hull out, so pretty good. Definitely worth the research, that's for sure. And I've got pretty good at dodging torpedoes with it, but apparently I didn't get perfectly good at dodging Bogue aircraft carriers as I scraped up along him a little bit here and knocked him off to the side. Sorry, buddy. However, this does roll right into what ends up being my second kill, which was this St. Louis, who I'm pretty sure was concentrating all of his fire into my aircraft carrier. And I got some pretty good hits on this guy, but the reload time just isn't there to... Like, there's a Citadel that seems like it should have done more damage than it did. And then those other shots somehow shot in between his smokestacks, I guess? I don't know. But you'll just see my secondaries are firing at him and all dropping short or missing rather badly. I don't have any kind of upgrades for my secondary crew or anything. They did hit a hole through the number 4 smokestack there, which was kind of funny. And right there, you see my carrier has just been knocked out by the St. Louis. So right as I turn my attention away, I get another Citadel on him and blow him up. And that's my second and what ends up being final kill for this battle. So here you'll see their aircraft carrier has just been destroyed. Here's another couple of air kills, I think. And then my final... Oh, that's right. This is I would love to be able to claim that I dodged those bombs. I mean, I knew the bombs were coming and I turned away, but what I was really looking for was right here, I should have been able to easily dodge these torpedoes, but for some reason the old big girl didn't want to turn left, even though I had rudder full over to port for a long time before the torpedoes got there. But I did end up just barely taking a hit off the nose. Took some flooding, but the flooding we were able to counteract the flooding pretty quickly. So the final little skirmish I had here, which darn near was a victory for me, just barely not, is with this Congo coming up right here. He's on fire and losing a little bit of health already, and definitely sees me, and I have all of his full attention. But you can see I get some pretty good hits on him right here. No citadels, unfortunately, on all those hits, but pretty decent hits on him, just all the same. I will admit, I didn't realize it before, but all the ARP ships have pretty neat anime smoke effects as different from all the rest of the ships, so that's kind of neat. I didn't realize it until I got my own ARP Kirishima. Now these torpedoes coming in on me, I just accepted that they were going to hit me. I didn't even bother trying to dodge. I was just trying to get a full broadsides up on him and finish him off, which didn't quite work. It was close. I darn near got him. Any citadel there would have certainly finished him off with the amount of health he had left, but didn't get him. And you'll see in a moment somebody else is able to at least capitalize on all the hits I put into him and finish him off here. And that'll be where I end this first battle, and then we'll get the stat screen in a moment and the total scores and everything, and you'll be able to see that. And then we'll get into the second battle, which actually has the game audio in it. And this guy right here just took 4 torpedoes without trying to maneuver or dodge or anything, and he was reversing, which was strange. But there you go. You can see 39 hits with the New York. I thought that was pretty good. Shot down 6 planes, destroyed 6 ships, and got 3 citadels. I'm pretty happy about that. The 39 gun hits with the New York in particular is a huge amount of gun hits for me with the New York. So you can see the score there. It was a first place and a loss. Not a particularly great score, and both of the team damages there were just guys that I sideswiped and scraped. So wasn't a terribly bad battle, but it wasn't anything great either. And here we are with the second battle, which is the one where I actually did finally finish all the research that I needed to get the New Mexico. And I was worried. You can see in the chat here, I was worried about it might have turned me pink, because that was the first time that I had seen the new update where if you do any damage, it shows people pinked out. So I couldn't tell if maybe I was showing pink to everybody else, but that was the first time I'd seen the results screen with pink damage. So turns out it still lets you know if you get pinked out and you become pink, it will tell you, but I didn't know, so. But at least the team did actually respond and answer me and not just totally ignore me, so. I owe you one. So initially, we'll just kind of watch the battle developing. There was a lot in the initial part here. I kept getting somebody well within my range, but they would be on the opposite side of one of these silly islands and just traveling exactly opposite. Which is pretty funny. All stations, provide fire. Do get my first opportunity to shoot at him and just barely don't quite catch him. This was also, I think, the first time that I tried the slow down real quick while somebody was shooting at me to see if I could avoid avoid being hit by their shells and throw their aim off. It sort of worked. And again, like I said earlier, once you get the upgraded, all the possible upgrades you can get, your guns actually get a reasonable range, and you can actually kind of return some fire back to the Japanese battleships instead of having to take about half the range on them. Look at that. Beautiful. I've been wanting and wanting and wanting to get a view on a shell tracking that actually went right into hit the target. And I had a couple of them on this day, finally. Oh, Lord. Are those coming for me? Are those coming for me? No, they're not coming for me. They were close, though. He was shooting at me. Let him have it. All 10 guns. All 10 barrels. And not quite any hits, because we aimed a little too far behind him. But it's still nice to be able to reach out that far on somebody and actually be a threat. That, together with the AAA defense and the secondary guns, really does make a difference on the New York. It really nearly becomes an enjoyable ship to play when you've got it completely, fully maxed out.
Waypoint reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
Alright, Ioba. Bring your pretty face to my axe. And by axe, I mean 10, 14-inch guns. Not too bad. Not the greatest damage there. No citadels or anything, but probably enough to get his attention and draw it off whatever he was looking at, because it probably wasn't me that he was initially paying attention to. So that's not always a bad thing if you can draw attention off lesser armored allies and draw it onto yourself, especially at distance. It's not a bad thing. Now, I can't say for sure that he turned towards me because of that, but could be why. Did get some pretty decent hits on him here, though. Got a couple of base defends, which gets you a decent amount of points and score, so that's never a bad thing. So I'm pretty far over towards getting out of range of where I wanted to be, and I wanted to get a little bit closer back to our carrier there. So I'm hauling back around hard port over to the west. Give him another few shots with the main batteries there. That scores one average hit. Nothing special. And then we'll bring it back around to the west, give another look around, see what we got going on here, figure out the closest target. It's still the Ioba, for sure. That one there, I actually didn't mean to double click on the mouse, but it fired them all at once, which kind of blew my shot there. But ordinarily, on that angle he was traveling at and moving away, I would probably walk my fire up a little farther to try and guarantee at least 1 or 2 hits rather than go for broke there. But at least he was definitely running away from... Alright, he's around behind that rock, so I can afford to take my attention off him for the moment and see what else is going on. This is going to be a problem. So, we've got a destroyer made it in alone against our 2 carriers. That is bad news no matter what. So our independence, I don't know what he's trying to do. If he's not paying attention or if he's trying to hope that his secondaries are going to get the Farragut, but that's pretty much not a good plan. So I'm trying to either hit him or scare him away or whatever, but it's basically already too late. There's 1 carrier down. I'm trying desperately right now just to save the 2nd carrier. And the speed that this Farragut is traveling at, and the distance, and the fact that I'm having to roll around and turn. All kinds of bad news. Doing everything I can to try and salvage the 2nd carrier, who's at least running directly away from the Farragut, as my guns are tracking away from where I need them to be to fire at him. And again, I'm totally blowing the shots here, a little bit too far behind him. But I'm more just paying attention to where the crosshairs are and hoping that the crosshairs are going to pull in on him. And just trying not to miss my shots as they go by rather than actually leading the guy properly. I did score a hit on him there, but the carrier is trying to help defend himself too, and he's got his planes going out after the destroyer. So we're down 2 ships now at that point. We just lost that last guy. I'm still doing everything I can to save the carrier, and the carrier's already been knocked out, unfortunately. So we're down both our carriers now. And now I'm taking hits from the 3 or 4 guys directly behind me. I've got 6 guys behind me on the enemy team right now. And I do have a little bit of support. It's not a lot, but I'm completely alone basically up to my north, including that destroyer that I just shot at and missed. So not particularly the best best situation to be in for a big, slow New York. So trying to get myself back away to the southeast a little bit. And bring it a little closer to some mutual fire support from friendlies there. They're starting to take away our caps in the middle. Now I know that Farragut is still out there. I can see where he's shooting from. I know he's in that smoke. Luckily he's missing on his initial salvo here. Just barely short.
Our victory is in sight.
Gives me just enough time to get around behind this island.
Autopilot mode enabled.
And I'm going to try to reconsolidate with my the rest of my team here. What's left of us. We're only down by 2 ships, but the enemy's fleet is a lot better concentrated with destroyers off on their flanks as opposed to us. We're a little bit more spread out and not really interlocking. Now I really have got to do everything I can to get this Farragut knocked out before he gets to me, or I'll be the next gigantic capital ship that he'll have painted on the side of his mast. So we did manage to even up the numbers there. 6 on 6 now. So that helps. Good work by the team there. We did take out a couple of them. And I'm trying to get my guns to stop overcompensating and over-aiming. Sometimes it's really annoying when you've got dead aim on somebody and your gunners try to compensate, factor in lead that isn't there. And all your shots fly off to the side, one side or another. Even though the enemy's not maneuvering at all. That gets a little aggravating occasionally, but it's part of the game. Right now I'm hoping against hope that my guns are going to reload before he gets his torpedoes off. Because I happen to know the Farragut's got an 8 spread he can fire off. Got pretty good hits there. And those shots there, I couldn't believe didn't finish him off. Just insane that those didn't hit him out of those last 4. The Molotov is not paying attention at all before he got killed there. So this Farragut's basically got a magical chance to get torpedoes at me that he never should have had. And I at least had my repair going still. Now here, I'm pretty much, it's going to be extremely difficult for me not to kill him with all these shots I have. And finally,
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
finished him off. But that took me away from all the rest of the battle and the team. And we've been really knocked down. And now I've got a Texas and a New Mexico right within gun range, bearing down on me too. So we were little annoyed with the cruiser captains on our team in this battle, as they all just took off and left us all behind, destroyers and battleships and carriers alike. But even with the score we have right there, the game was well in doubt still. The outcome was not guaranteed with the amount of health that the Texas and the New Mexico and all the other ships on their team had. And the EP measuring starts in the chat. Got some decent hits on the Texas there, but not quite enough. Took some pretty darn good hits from the carrier there, with not a lot of chance, not a lot of health to spare, and both my damage control party and my repair were a long time away. But then I mean, just out of nowhere, look at this beautiful target that appears. I mean, what the heck was he thinking? And that's it. That knocks us over 1,000 points. I mean, what a gift from the heavens that carrier was. And that was enough. That was enough research to knock me over the top to get my New Mexico, which you should be seeing next week. Thank you all for watching. Here comes the results screen, and then I'll see you next time. So you can see second place on this one, but a much higher score as opposed to the first place in the last one. So, much better game. Even earned myself a captain point there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.